everyone. Can you believe we're already in lesson 6? I think that's pretty wild, but I know that we're kind of in the thick of it. So I wanted to get in and make sure that you understand the step 2 of your project, which is analyzing. So last week, you all completed this tallying project where you were looking at the culturally responsive classroom. So when you're looking at step 2, you will automatically have completely looked at gender, race, setting. The additional 5, you see how it says in here, explaining which additional 5 categories you'll share. The additional 5 categories would be in section D: disability, sexual orientation, family structure, language, economic diversity, and religion. So you will choose 5 of those. Now, the whole point of this is to choose 5, not at random, but you will be looking at, if you look down here, explain which 5 categories you'll share and why, comparing the books to your classroom demographic. Now, if you got a grade and I said, hey, you have to make up your student demographic because you need that. If you don't have students or you're not in a classroom, you need to make up this information. And based on this information is how you will decide, and also by doing the readings. So you can't do this without doing the readings. You need to know what mirrors and windows are, why a culturally responsive classroom is important, and thinking about children and their families and how that will affect how children look at books in the classroom. So you will choose the 5 categories based on which ones would be a good window, a not so good window, a mirror, and a not so good mirror. So you have to do the reading and you have to have students to pick from section D to choose your 5 additional categories. And that is how you will complete this project this week. So you will complete your digital library. So if you use your digital library, that's how you will use it to continue with the project. If you use your classroom library, that's where you will continue. If you use your public library, so you already have the data. So in this, you will be doing a short write-up of which additional categories, remember again from section D, based on the reading this week, will you choose based on your students and the data that you collected? If you have any other questions, make sure you reach out before you move on to part B. So part B, from the audit tool you completed, decide which results are interesting to you. So here's where it says, everyone will report on gender, race, but after that, you choose 5 additional categories from C or D. So here's the C category or D, setting, and then D are all these others that you can choose from. And then you will answer what surprised you, what impressed you, made you concerned, and then you will compare your totals for the book and how well does your library do as a mirror or a window. So you're going to be thinking about what additional categories you will add and why. And then you will analyze the data that you got, what surprised or impressed you, and how well does your library suit your classroom for a mirror or a window for your students. And then you will submit that. And if you are wondering how I will be grading this, here is how I will be grading it. So make sure that you get in there, get started, and please reach out for any questions if you have any questions.